And welcome back. Well, approximately 95% of Catholic school graduates pursue higher education, but it's the presence of a high power that supports children throughout their education. And once a year, Catholic schools across the country celebrate Catholic education during Catholic School Week.
Yeah, students and their families are reminded of the benefits of a faith-based education, and they want you to see what they have to offer too. And joining us now to talk more about it is the superintendent of schools for the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. It's Kathleen Sapelka, along with Dan Heading. He's the principal at St. Thomas. How do I say that? Aquinas Academy. Welcome to both of you. So nice to have you here on this show.
Very happy to be here.
Yeah, it was interesting for me to read the tremendous success rates of Catholic schools. What do you see as being the primary benefits of a Catholic education?
Well, in the Archdiocese of Milwaukee, we have a history of over 170 years of strong academic excellence, of integrating faith-based values into every aspect of the school curriculum and school life, and a general sense of order and purposefulness, as well as a great connection with parents.
I like the idea of the sense of purpose involved in some of the education.
Yes.
I just think it gives students a really great grounding. Do you also educate non-Catholic students, and is that something that you see often?
We do, especially in the city of Milwaukee. Dan's school, for example, has a percentage of students who are not Catholic.
Right, and when we educate every student, all students participate in some way in our ceremonies and celebrations within the Catholic faith, and we see a lot of just participation from people of all faiths. So.
Yeah, I think especially, when you think of school and you think of all the hours that your kids are away from you during the day, and someone else is not only teaching them but watching out for them. Safety has become a really big issue in schools. To address that issue, what do you feel parents can expect from Catholic schools if they're in the Archdiocese of Milwaukee?
Sure, and I'll let Dan address it from a local perspective too, of course, but we have in place very set procedures. Doors are locked, of course, the usual precautions that would be taken in any school. But I like to say that our greatest safety asset is the fact that in our schools, children are known and loved as individuals, so that there really is a very strong sense of community in our schools. And that in itself is a safety. It's a haven for parents that they respond to and they want.
My boyfriend went to a Catholic high school. I went to a Catholic college, and I think that community is something that we were talking about during the break that really does exist very strongly. What about children who maybe have not started in a Catholic school? Can they come in later in a high school or junior high, or is that a bad idea?
We actually are finding that a lot of students are coming in later on into the intermediate grades or middle school. And phone calls that I'm getting from parents are stating that they're coming to Catholic schools because they're unhappy with the schools they're at, but they believe that there's something missing in the child's education, and part of that is that faith element that they want to incorporate into their regular academics, but also into their personal morality and developing a different sense of self for the kids.
Over the past 10 years or so, what changes have you seen in Catholic schools?
Well, the biggest change, of course, is the fact that my parents and my grandparents had school faculties that were made up almost exclusively of religious women, sisters, and in some cases religious men. The torch has been passed now to very committed and dedicated and passionate lay people who are very intentional about the kind of faith integration that Dan referenced before. The academic quality has not changed. The sense of order and focus and purpose has not changed. But the look of schools has, of course, as it has in public schools and other schools as well.
I kind of giggle a little to myself because I think a lot of the older generation who's watching today, and my mom in particular, I think of her stories of being in Catholic school with the nuns with the rulers, and it's like that's not the case anymore.
It never was in schools, right?
But it's the stories that they like to pass on and joke about. How about the areas that are so important, the math, the technology, the science? How do you perform in those areas?
We are very committed to this. In fact, we have a technology committee that's up and running now that is examining our needs for the future. And I'd ask Dan to address that from a
Sure.
school perspective.
Schools are definitely pushing in the direction of technology. For example, our school has introduced Project Lead the Way, which is junior engineering, where students can compete in competitions with robotics and building structures using simple instruments. So there's a real push for us to incorporate technology that students use every day at home, or they're using every day on their own, in the classroom, so that they're getting a better understanding of our curriculum, and it relates to them a little bit more through technology.
I think that's a really big deal and important for parents to know how it stacks up against public schools. Quickly, the parental choice partners that you have, what can you tell families about the choice plan or that program?
Sure, we have 25 schools right now in the city of Milwaukee that are choice schools, and this really provides an opportunity for parents who would not have the financial means to consider a Catholic education to have that benefit. And we would really encourage them to contact our office, our archdiocese, to get more information.
Yeah, and we have that information for people. So if you're interested in learning more about the Archdiocese of Milwaukee, and the Office for Schools phone number is right here on your screen. It's 414-769-2256. You can also visit them online at schools.archmil.org to learn more about Catholic school. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Nice to have you. Thank you.